You could see the scenery changing around them too, as like the rain kept hitting harder and harder and there was lightning in the background.
Welcome back to Dastardly Hamster, where we try to convert each other into fans of our favorite bands. So, Liam, today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I've been telling you for a while about the parallels that I often hear between metal and classical music. But since you don't listen to a whole lot of classical music, I think that the best way to introduce you to a band like Lamb of God, which is going to be coming up next, is by showing you a little bit of classical music. Now, what we're going to be listening to today is a duo that calls themselves 2CELLOS, and they're going to be playing a movement from the Summer Concerto of Vivaldi's Four Seasons piece.
So here's how little I know about classical. I didn't know that concerto was an actual term. In wrestling, which I'm a big fan of, concerto is a move where you have a chair on the ground and then the opponent's head is on the chair and you take another chair and you hit their head between the two chairs.
A concerto is an Italian word that has existed for hundreds of years.
It's good to know where these terms come from.
Yeah! Now, I was worried that I was going to get some of the terminology around, like, concertos and stuff wrong, but you're, like, super wrong.
I'm so off base that anything you say will look good in comparison.
Great, I'll take it. I actually did a little bit of research to go into this and found out some really interesting stuff about Antonio Vivaldi. He was a teacher at an orphanage that specialized in teaching their female students how to play classical music. His job involved writing 2 concertos a month for years. He wrote like hundreds of pieces. The Four Seasons was one of his most popular ones. It's about 40 minutes long with 4 concertos that go through the seasons. This 2.5-minute clip. Official name is not actually Storm, but people will sometimes call it Storm. It's my favorite movement from the Four Seasons. An interesting fact that I found out is that he is considered to be one of the originators of program music, which would not become popular for a couple of hundred years, where he would write a piece. It's not just music, it is supposed to tell a story. So this part, often called Storm, or the Storm, is supposed to make you imagine a bird caught in a storm.
This kind of feels like they're dueling a little bit. That's pretty neat. But they're dueling with instruments that I've never seen a duel with before. So they're dealing with cellos.
I wouldn't call them dueling. They are a duo. They're playing one piece. Normally it's played by violins. They're not necessarily supposed to duel, but it is supposed to be a hectic part of the concerto. It is supposed to be, it's supposed to invoke a feeling of panic in you.
Okay, that part right there, that was the first part where it felt like they weren't dueling. Where it felt like, okay, we are working together to create something. And I really liked that part. I think more than the other part. It felt more purposeful to me. Well, the part before that sounded like they were like kind of improvising, but this part didn't sound improvised, if that makes sense.
I don't actually remember if the original piece is supposed to be played by just one person or by 2, but there's a chance that they, as a team, decided who should play which parts. there's a chance that it was only supposed to be one violin and they split it into two cellos. But I would also say, apparently from the research that I did, the whole point of Vivaldi composing these concertos was to highlight the skills of his students. So they were supposed to be very, very difficult.
I really liked the ending. I really liked like that last half of that song a lot. I felt like it kept increasing the pace and it got darker. It felt more like something bad was happening, almost like you're being chased. You could see the scenery changing around them too as it got more into that. You got like the rain kept hitting harder and harder and there was lightning in the background. Yeah, I really liked that. Classical music isn't really my thing. Like, I don't really listen to classical music at all. But that said, I thought this was really good for what it was. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 ham stars.
For me, even though classical is not my favorite of all time, I have so much appreciation for classical music. I'm absolutely not an expert, but it was a big part of my life when I was a kid, and I think that it did give me a basis for understanding other music, especially metal. The Four Seasons in its entirety, but especially those pieces that create so much emotion in me. This movement and other parts of the Four Seasons that sound similar. For me, this is the best part of classical music. So, like, other than a couple of Beethoven pieces, like Furelise, for me, I think this is amazing. So I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 ham stars. So if I got any of that terminology wrong or any of the facts about Vivaldi wrong, please let us know in the comments. I did try to do some research. I watched a couple of videos, read some articles, but I'm absolutely not an expert, so please correct me if I got anything wrong. Well, that's it for us, ham stars. Spin your wheels down to that subscribe button.
Give us a dastardly thumbs up.